Hi, 8th graders. It's your April classroom collection. And so we have a bunch of different titles per your suggestion. I have some Holocaust books and I have some murder mysteries and a few surprises. They don't have any ARs associated with them, so hopefully you might like those and you've already gotten your AR points. So, our first book is called The Escape to the Forest. These first couple of books have a slightly lower level in case you're just trying to get some extra points. This one is a 4.4 level worth 2 points called The Escape to the Forest. It's based on a true story about a young Jewish girl in the beginning of World War II. She recalls the horrors of life under first the Russians and then the Nazis before fleeing to join an artisan who tried to save as many Jewish as possible. Escape to the Forest. Once is by Morris Gleitzman. It's a book level of 4.1, worth 4 points. After living in a Catholic orphanage for nearly 4 years, a native Jewish boy runs away and embarks on a journey across Nazi-occupied Poland to find his parents. And that's called Once. The Resistance is by Jennifer Nielsen. It is a 5.8 book level worth 14 points. Kaya is a Jewish teenager in Nazi-occupied Poland. Using forged papers and her fair features, she becomes a courier and travels between the Jewish ghettos of Poland. Smuggling food, papers, and people, it's a little bit more than the Resistance. Orphan Monster Spy is by Matt Keelan. This is an upper grade level book at a 5-point level worth 14 points. Her name is Sarah. She's blonde, blue-eyed, and Jewish in 1939 Germany. Her act of resistance is about to change the world. She may look sweet, but she's the Nazis' worst nightmare. Orphan Monster Spy. The Light in Hidden Places by Sharon Cameron. Again, another upper grade level book at a 4.2 level worth 15 points. After the Nazis invade Poland, 16-year-old Stefani embarks on a dangerous course protecting 13 Jews in her attic, caring for her younger sister, and keep everything a secret from the 2 Nazi officers who are living in her house. The Light in Hidden Places. Now we're going to move on to our murder mysteries. This week's first chapter book, Friday, features this book, The Girl Who Was Supposed to Die by April Henry. I'm not going to give you a synopsis about it. What I will tell you is an upper grade level book worth 4.7 level worth 8 points. You should watch the video and hear the first chapter instead. Another one of April Henry's books, and you're going to find that she is a really fun murder mystery book. Her second book, another book, is called The Girl Stolen. And a little bit about Girl Stolen. It is a upper grade level book, 4.7 level, worth 7 points. When an impulsive carjacker turns into a kidnapping, a high school dropout finds himself in sympathy with the victim. Here's another April Henry book, Count All of Her Bones. This is a middle grade plus 5.2 level worth 7 points. Griffin, the teen who helped Cheyenne escape in Girl Stolen, goes missing right before he sets to testify at her father's trial, and Cheyenne sets out to save her former captor. So this book is actually the second book in this series. So you might want to check them both out if you're intrigued. Okay, moving on to author Paula Morris in Eternal City. This is a middle grade plus at a 6.1 level worth 10 points. Laura Martin is on a class trip to Rome when Mercury, a dark-eyed boy with wings on his heels, appears to give her a message. She soon realizes she is at the center of a brewing battle, between gods and goddesses. So we're going to throw a little bit of mythology into our mystery. Expelled is by the ever-popular James Patterson. It is an upper grade level book at a 4.7 level worth 8 points. Expelled over the photo that was posted to his Twitter account. Theo Foster is determined to find out who took the picture and why he and 3 other students are being targeted. Expelled. All right, moving on to the next book, which is called The House. I'm going to pull it down here from the bottom. The House is by Christina Lauren. It's an upper grade level book, book level 6 at 14 points. Living in a house that might possibly be haunted on the edge of town, a black-clad, shady-haired Gavin falls for an alluring Delilah before finding himself trapped by the house's dark secrets. To Catch a Killer is by Cheryl Scarborough. It's a middle grade plus book, a 4.7 level worth 13 points. When Erin discovers the body of her biology teacher, she begins her own investigation into the murder of her mother when Erin was just a toddler. This is the first book in the series. Okay. The next book is On the Day I Die by Candace Fleming. Candace Fleming is an Ohio author, and she writes a lot of young kid books. This is a middle grade plus book, a 4.9 level worth 6 points. In a lonely Illinois cemetery on a cold October night, teen ghosts recount the stories of their deaths in different time periods, from 1870 to present. The Day I Died. The next book is called The Intruder in the Dust by William Faulkner. Upper grade level book at 7.8 level. 13 points. Lucas, a black man wrongly arrested for the murder of Bison Gowrie, a white man, sets out to prove his innocence, aided by a white lawyer, Gavin, and his young nephew, Chick. Intruder in the Dust. The TransAtlantic Conspiracy is by G.D. Faulkson. It's a middle grade plus book at 5.1 level worth 7 points. While on the inaugural journey from Europe to the United States on the world's first underwater railway, Rosalind finds love, a murder mystery, and a shocking truth. The Transatlantic Conspiracy. Genuine Fraud by E. Lockhart. Upper grade book level of 4.7 worth 8 points. Jewel, white and an orphan, all of which she has in common with her best friend, Eris Imogene. Or does she? The ever-popular Michael Vey series, Prisoner Cell 25. Middle grade plus book level with 3.5 worth 11 points. Michael discovers he has special electrical powers and, with the help of his best friends, becomes aware that there are other teens with similar powers, but something or someone is haunting them. Butterfly Clues by Kate Ellison. Upper grade book level 5, air points 12. Lo's compulsive behavior gets her into trouble when she comes too close to a murder while wandering dangerously to parts of Cleveland collecting things that don't belong to her and obsessing about her brother's death. Butterfly Clues. The next book is called Dark Inheritance by Chris DeLacy. I believe I've talked about this one before. It's a middle grade plus book at a 4.3 level worth 8 points. When Michael saves a dog, he discovers he has paranormal abilities, which brings him to the attention of a secret organization that claims to have information about the disappearance of his father. Accomplice by Irene Corrigan. It is a middle grade plus book level 4.9 worth 10 points. High school juniors and their best friends Finn and Chloe hatch a daring plot to fake Chloe's disappearance from their rural New Jersey home in order to have something compelling to put on their college applications. But unforeseen events complicate matters. The Terrace by Carolyn B. Clooney. Middle grade plus, book level 5.2 or 6 points. Laura, an American living in London, tries to find the person responsible for the death of her younger brother, Billy, who was killed in a terrorist bombing. The Fog, also by Carolyn B. Clooney. Upper grade 5.1 level worth 7 points. While attending school on mainland, Christina and Anya are boarding with Mr. and Mrs. Sevington, the handsome principal and the dedicated teacher. But something evil is happening at the Sevingtons' house. This is the first book in this series. And finally, After the First Death by Robert Cormier. It is an upper grade book level of a 6.8 worth 10 points. This is a chilling novel about a gang of boys programmed to kill and their clash with the U.S. Army. This is going to be deep, guys. Okay, then I told you I have some surprise books that don't have AR points. And I want to show them to you. Well, this one actually does. I didn't have a copy of it last month, so I wanted to be able to share it with you this month. Since you guys read The Outsiders, I did not have a copy of Rumblefish, so I want to make sure that I send it over your way this time. So if you're not familiar with Rumblefish, it says, Rusty James is the #1 tough guy among the junior high kids who hang out and shoot pool at Benny's. He's proud of keeping up his reputation, but what he wants most of all is to be just like his older brother. Rusty James isn't book smart. He relies more on his fists than his brains. When it gets in over his head, the motorcycle boy is always there to bail him out. But one day his world falls apart and the motorcycle boy isn't around to pick up the pieces. Now what? So Rumblefish. Okay, so the ones that don't have ARs, and I'm hoping some of you have completed all those this year, I have Orson Scott Card's Lost and Found. This is another wonderful mystery that some of you might really, really enjoy if you're already ready for getting your AR points done. It's a mystery that tells a story at the same time. So this is Lost and Found. Ink. This is Ink by Alice Broadway. And it says, from the moment you're born, every achievement, every failing, and every significant moment are all immortalized on your skin. There are honorable marks that let people know you're trustworthy and shameful tattoos that announce that you're a traitor. And after her father dies, Leora finds solace in the fact that his skin tells a wonderful story, that it's until she glimpses a mark on the back of his neck, the symbol of the worst crime a person can commit. Leora knows that it has to be a mistake, but before she can do anything about it, the horrifying secrets get out, jeopardizing her father's legacy and her life. So this is Ink. This is The Color of the Sun. It's by David Almond. David Almond has some really wonderful books. One hot summer morning, Davy steps boldly out of his front door. The world he enters, the little tinsy town that's always been his home, it's very familiar. But as the day passes, it becomes ever more dramatic and strange. A boy has been killed, and Davy thinks he might know who is responsible. He turns away from the gossip and excitement and sets off roaming toward the sunlit summit at the top of the town, where the real and imaginary world begin to blur. Davy sees things on the hillside that show him that among immortality there can be kindness, and in darkness there's a chance for hope. Now, I was wrong about this book. This book actually does have an AR in it. It's at 4.1 worth 5 points. So you might want to grab that one while you can. It's The Color of the sun. Another non-AR book is Lynn Slaughter's It Should Have Been You. Once I decided to kill her, the rest was surprisingly easy. I studied her as she launched into the opening notes of Barcella. She was beautiful, not as beautiful as her music, but close. Her dark curls cascaded down her long spine. She swayed to the music, lost in the beauty and the power. I congratulated myself on how thoughtful I was, letting her die, doing what she loved. All those dramatic speeches I'd fantasized giving her weren't going to happen. Surprise was everything. She'd never know what hit her. It should have been you. And the last book is called The Rooney Sweep. On the night Donovan Turner is thrown out of a car on a highway in the middle of nowhere, he can barely remember his own name, let alone the details of the past 24 hours. Where is he? How did he get here? Where is his girlfriend B? Nothing makes sense in the dark, lonely stretch of the highway. In an attempt to flag down the next passing car, he startles the driver, causing a fatal accident. With sirens in the distance and the lingering feeling that he's running from something or someone, Donovan grabs the dead man's briefcase and flees. It is filled with cash. Cash he could desperately use. The Ruinous Sweep. All right, so I'm going to send these over in your classroom collections. If you guys have anything you would like me to get, let me know. We're coming up on probably this is probably going to be your last one. I could probably pull a few more books for you for the month of May. And but if you guys have any questions or any needs, let me know. I can't wait till next fall, and hopefully the classes can come back over again, and all you 8th graders are going to move on to high school. So don't forget about the library. Be sure to come and see us. All right, guys. See you later.